Welcome back to House of MMA today. We've got Michael Bisping is throwing serious shade at Ariel Helwani again. Jon Jones is finally breaking his silence on a massive heavyweight showdown with Tom Aspinall. And we've got the latest on Sean O'Malley's road to redemption. Plus, inside info on why Khamzat Chimaev gets tired in fights, a wild Moscow subway brawl, plus the latest heated words between Paddy Pimblett and Arman Tsarukyan, and Israel Adesanya opening up on his loss to Sean Strickland. Let's dive in. Khamzat Chimaev and fellow UFC middleweight Shara Magomedov are making headlines after Shara revealed the two got into a street brawl right inside a Moscow subway station. This story came out during an interview with Russian media and has MMA fans buzzing. The two weren't always on good terms, throwing shade over each other's records and Khamzat mocking Shara's wrestling skills. But lately, through mutual friends and shared management, they've been training together and hanging out in Russia until just a few days ago, when an argument with four locals over a shoulder bump escalated into a full-blown fight. Shara says two of the locals got knocked out and the other two ran off. The details were shared on a Russian YouTube channel and the story quickly went viral. No footage has surfaced yet, but if it does, expect it to blow up online. These guys are dangerous inside the cage, so imagining them brawling in public is wild. Shara described the incident, saying the four guys were being loud and obnoxious, blocking their path. When Shara gave one a shoulder check, the guys called them over with a rude attitude, and when one grabbed Shara's arm to pull him closer, Khamzat and Shara snapped and the fight broke out. Michael Bisping didn't hold back again, calling Ariel Helwani a bellend right on his YouTube channel. This happened while reacting to Jon Jones finally breaking his silence about the UFC working on something huge with Tom Aspinall, though Jones couldn't reveal details just yet. Interestingly, Bisping actually agreed with Ariel this time, backing the claim that the biggest heavyweight fight ever, Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, is genuinely in the works. But of course, Bisping couldn't resist tossing in a jab at Ariel, dropping the classic bellend insult with his usual sarcastic flair. This isn't a new feud, these two have been trading barbs for years. Ariel once called Bisping a power slap commentator and accused him of being a Dana White bootlicker. Bisping fired back by mocking Ariel's style and attitude in public. Meanwhile, fans have been growing impatient as this heavyweight title fight drags on. The division feels frozen and everyone's waiting on the UFC to make the official announcement. So while Bisping and Ariel continue their back and forth, they at least agree on one thing: this colossal fight is happening and it's long overdue. Is Bisping telling the truth? My take is yes, he probably is. Ariel recently said Jon asked for a massive payday, which the UFC met, but then reportedly turned down the fight. Ariel, despite his reputation as a bellend, is known for digging up insider info, annoying people until he gets the scoop, and sharing it regardless. So there's likely some truth there. If this fight happens, it'll be the biggest heavyweight clash the UFC has ever seen. Jon Jones is poised to earn one of the biggest paychecks in MMA history. Only Conor McGregor has come close. And if it takes place at Madison Square Garden, as many expect, it'll be the perfect iconic stage for such a monumental event. Sean O'Malley is finally sharing what went wrong in his first fight with Merab. He admits overconfidence played a big part. He underestimated just how relentless Merab could be, especially when Sean couldn't finish him off. On top of that, Sean was dealing with a torn labrum and hip injury heading into the fight. Still, he didn't want to pull out, not wanting to let the UFC or fans down, especially since it was part of the historic Sphere event in Las Vegas, a night he didn't want to miss, even if he wasn't at 100%. Now, with UFC 316 coming up, the rematch is shaping up to be huge. Merab is defending the bantamweight title against Sean, the guy he took the belt from. It's more than just a rematch, it's a full circle moment for Sean, a chance to prove the first fight wasn't the full story. Merab, on the other hand, has to show he's truly the king of the bantamweight division. The stakes are sky high, and with all eyes on this card, both fighters are expected to bring their absolute best. This could easily be one of the most important bantamweight showdowns in recent UFC history. Sean reflected on the fight, saying he probably shouldn't have taken it given his injury, and admitted he underestimated Merab's skill, but he's excited for the rematch, and confident the win will be even sweeter after the first loss. Armen Tsarukyan, who has trained with Khamzat Khamzat Chimaev just dropped some insight that challenges the usual narrative about Khamzat getting tired during fights. Arman says it's not a cardio issue at all. In fact, Khamzat trains so hard and intensely that by fight night, he's already worn out from his brutal sparring sessions. According to Arman, Khamzat goes through 5 or 6 fresh training partners back to back, dominating them relentlessly without letting up. That insane training intensity leaves him drained even before the cage door closes. Many of Khamzat's former teammates like Jalen Turner, Alexander Gustafsson, and Michael Venom Page have all commented on his crazy work ethic, backing up Arman's claims. So next time you see Khamzat fade in a fight, remember it's not because of poor cardio, it's because he's already pushed himself to the absolute limit in training. Arman also talked about Islam Makhachev's future, predicting Islam will become champ, defend his belt a couple of times, then likely retire, especially after moving up to 170 pounds. He says the landscape at lightweight has changed a lot since the Usman era, with belts switching hands often now. The tension between Paddy Pimblett and Armen Tsarukyan is heating up again. Things kicked off when Paddy recently said he's not interested in fighting Armen, expressing a preference for a high-profile matchup with Justin Gaethje in October. That didn't sit well with Tsarukyan, who responded on Twitter saying it was obvious you were just talking trash, with no intention of following through. Your UFC career has been fueled by hype handouts and shortcuts. Paddy didn't let that slide. He fired back with a scathing message of his own, writing "Rich kid talking about handouts. You've had everything served to you on a silver platter thanks to daddy's money. I never said I wouldn't fight you. Nobody cares about you, especially after you pulled out of the Islam fight with a so-called back injury. We all know what really happened. You were just on your period, you sausage." Israel, Adesanya recently shared that UFC President Dana White actually advised him not to take the fight against Sean Strickland at UFC 293. Before the bout, White warned Adesanya that his relentless schedule and readiness to fight anyone, anytime, might finally be taking a toll. Despite the caution, Adesanya moved forward with the matchup and ended up losing by a wide margin. That loss not only cost him his middleweight title for the second time, but also marked the beginning of a tough stretch in his career, including 3 consecutive defeats. Speaking on his Young Man Ramble podcast, Adesanya opened up about that pivotal conversation with White. The crazy thing is, I actually felt the same way, Adesanya said, but I kept thinking, no, I've got to fight in Sydney. It's been way too long since I've competed in this part of the world. Dana told me, kid, you've made enough money, take a break. And I said it's not just about the Strickland fight, I was being stubborn. Looking back, maybe Dana was right. Maybe I should have taken that time off. But honestly, I like that this is part of my story. This is how it's meant to unfold. Adesanya also explained why he's eager to run it back with Strickland. Now it's personal, I need to do this for me. If Strickland beats me again, so be it. It's like when Alex Pereira beat me, I was like, damn, really? But I was sharp, I felt good. I walked right up to him after, shook his hand, gave him props. That's how it goes. Fair fight, you got me, no excuses. But the Strickland fight, that one sticks with me. It doesn't feel like the others. I just want to know for sure. He beat the Soldier of God, Yoel Romero, so he's no joke. But I want to test it again for myself. That's it for today's MMA breakdown. What do you think? Will Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall finally go down? And can Sean O'Malley turn things around in their rematch? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss the latest fight news. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.